Can I fix it for food? The voice was soft, weary, but steady. It came from a man whose clothes were torn and whose shoes had holes in them. His beard was scruffy, his skin rough from nights spent sleeping on the streets. In his hand, he clutched a small bag of old tools, the only possessions he seemed to have left. The wealthy car owners standing in the garage turned their heads and stared. Then came the first laugh. Food? He wants food. One man scoffed. Fix this car, and maybe we'll throw him a sandwich. The others joined in, chuckling, mocking, pulling out their phones to record what they thought would be entertainment, but Elijah Cole didn't flinch. His eyes sharp, steady, unshaken fix on the luxury car with its hood up. To them, he was just a hungry black homeless man desperate for scraps. What they didn't know was that Elijah had once been a name etched into history. A legend of the racetrack. Years ago, stadiums had thundered with cheers at the sound of Elijah's engines. He wasn't just a driver, he was an architect of speed. He built machines that roared like lions and flew like arrows. At Daytona, at Le Mans, his name was announced with awe. Elijah Cole, the man who rewrote the limits of the track, but fate, cruel as ever, took it all. One stormy night, a crash shattered his car and his career. The lawsuits drained his savings. Business partners he once trusted betrayed him, selling his designs behind his back. Sponsors turned their faces away. And slowly, the world forgot. From magazine covers to sleeping under bridges, Elijah had fallen harder than anyone could imagine. The car before them that day was a beast. A custom-built sports machine, its engine more advanced than most mechanics could dream of. It had been dead for months, even after the city's best experts had tried to repair it. Elijah, hungry and trembling from cold, whispered the words again. Can I fix it for food? The wealthy woman in the red jacket sneered. Go on then. Let's see a beggar do what certified mechanics couldn't. Her crowd laughed louder. Phones came up, recording the humiliation, but Elijah didn't argue. He didn't beg. He walked toward the car, opened his bag of worn tools, and touched the hood. He closed his eyes. He listened. To him, the car wasn't metal and wires. It was alive, and it was speaking. For 30 minutes, Elijah worked. His hands were steady, his fingers precise. He adjusted wires, tightened bolts, cleaned fuel lines, and recalibrated systems with a skill so fluid it looked like music. The laughter in the garage slowly died. The crowd leaned forward, whispering. The man in rags was no ordinary drifter. He moved like someone who belonged to the machine. At last, Elijah stepped back, wiping the sweat from his brow. Try it, he said quietly. The wealthy man in the suit scoffed but turned the key. The engine roared. Not just a cough of life, but a thunderous, flawless roar that shook the walls. The car came alive, smoother than ever, its purr like a lion ready to leap. The crowd gasped, mouths fell open. Phones stopped recording, the laughter was gone. Elijah stood tall, his back straight, his ragged clothes unable to hide the pride burning in his chest. How did you do that? One man asked, his voice trembling. Elijah's voice was calm. Because I built engines like this before you could afford them. My name is Elijah Cole. Someone whispered, Elijah Cole? The racer? The man who broke Daytona? Recognition spread like fire. Videos of his old races surfaced in their minds, his victories, his records, his designs that changed the industry. They hadn't mocked a beggar. They had mocked a legend. Woman in the red jacket stepped forward, her arrogance gone. If you're really Elijah Cole, why are you here like this? Elijah looked at her, his eyes carrying the weight of years, because life can strip you of money, titles, even your home. But it can't strip you of skill. That's mine forever. Silence. For once, not out of mockery, but out of respect. The video of the day spread across social media like wildfire. The man once laughed at for begging food was hailed as the genius who had been forgotten. Fans from years ago returned, posting clips of his record-breaking races. Car companies lined up with offers. Reporters wanted his story, but Elijah didn't. chase fame again. Instead, he opened the garage not in the city's richest block, but in the forgotten neighborhoods he came from. He hired other homeless men and women, teaching them the craft. He gave second chances, the kind he had once been. Denied dot above the entrance hung a sign with words he lived by. Skill is forever. Respect it.